the open week for Liberty football. They're back in action October 25th, hosting Gardner-Webb. Time to update us on the special teams through the first 7 games with special teams coordinator Jamal Fobbs. And Jamal, when you look at the special teams, when you kind of analyze things during the open week, what are some things you have found you've enjoyed about the special teams? Then we'll get into some other specifics.
The one thing I've enjoyed is just the overall preparation of delving to opponents and trying to figure out what they're doing in that phase of it. Something that I hadn't done before, and I appreciate Coach Gill for giving me this opportunity. And that's been an exciting thing for me of just coming up with different ideas to try and score touchdowns in the team's aspect.
And when you look at the role the other coaches have and other specifics of the special teams, like Aaron works with the kickers and et cetera, what's the weekly preparation between all the coaches when it comes to the special teams?
Well, it's pretty much the same. Every week, I come up, with the design of, of what we're going to do for the entire team of it. But those guys really, coach the technique part of it, with the kickers and the snappers and holders and stuff like that. So that we're that. Those guys are really just kind of, sharpening up skills every single day, every single week. So, they've done a great job and, helped me out tremendously.
Last 2 weeks, the special teams were under focus when you look at how the 2 games went into overtime. You kicked one to go to overtime against Richmond. They missed a kick to go to overtime against Appalachian State. So break down the emotions of those 2 kicks and what it was like for a coach to be part of those 2 games.
It's an emotional roller coaster, honestly, and it also tells our guys how important the one play is, to a football game. The one play that they had, it actually caused us to, go in overtime, when he missed a kick. And last week, when John made the kick, it put us in overtime. So it just kind of helps the importance of the one play. Some of the guys, they get a chance to play multiple plays, and they really try and don't focus on the one play. But it for us as coaches, it helps us to understand that how we talk about just taking one play at a time, and then the special teams is only one play. You got one shot. It just lets you know how important that one play is.
You look at some of the return men you've had back there. It's been an adventure at times. Josh Smith at Indiana State, Dakota last week, and even Isaac Brown, who's done a good job, but he misplayed one kick return as well. So what's the teaching point to your return guys and how to improve that part?
Well, those guys, they hadn't played a lot of football. They're young football players, and you just have to keep teaching and keep putting them in scenarios and practice so they can make decisions, in those situations. And hopefully when those situations occur again, they'll make a good decision.
I was talking to John Lunsford last week, and it seems like his game is coming to him. He's a veteran on this team, and at times he's been inconsistent. But this year, it seems like between the ears, it seems like he's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he has. Third year on the team, he's done a nice job of really maturing, and we're continuing to work with him, and he understands the things that we want as coaches, and the things that we expect from him, and so I think it's really helped him out, in his game.
And when you look at last week, what happened? You won the football game, but inside that game, a lot of touchbacks from the kickoffs. How frustrating is that for a return guy and a return team that you don't get a chance to return some kickoffs?
Well, it's very frustrating, being on on the return side of it, because you feel you've got a good shot at at getting a good return, and then you don't even get a chance to catch it. So for us, we were excited that he was able to kick the ball well and kick them all out, and that's the one thing that we expect from John. And but also the coverage unit has to expect the ball to actually come out of the end zone. If he doesn't hit it right, we got to cover it. So but he did well last week, and hopefully he continues.
And finally, Jamal, Coach Gill said that this week you guys are going to analyze every play of every game through the first 7 games. From a special teams perspective, what are some things you have found out that maybe not got overlooked the first 7 games, but you took a second look at it and said, okay, we can do better here?
Well, just, like you said earlier, continue to home in the return game, continue to put our guys, those returners in those situations so they can feel comfortable in those situations to make the right decisions, and also just continue to get as many reps as possible, because in practice, you have to balance your time with the special teams and the offense and defensive side of it. So, we just have to maximize our time and try to get all the scenarios, in the little small bit of time that we have for teams. And, that's the one thing that we're going to try and get done this week.
All right, Jamal, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the open week.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's Special Teams Coordinator Jamal Fobbs. I'm Alan York for Liberty Flame Sports Network.